Bobby Okereke and Alex Bussenger hosted the fund launch of 1-8 Capital, fund investing in the future of athlete recovery, injury prevention, and sports performance. Longevity is the name of the game. What's going on, fellas? Thanks for blessing the studios. How we feeling?
Good, bro. Thanks for having us.
What's up, Bobby O? What's going on, my man? All right, so I guess basically talk to me. How did this partnership begin, and how was 1-8 Capital, I guess, started?
Yeah, I can quickly touch on 1-8 and how Bobby and I got put together.
Okay.
I'm blessed to meet this man. Luckily, we're in chairs. I don't like to stand next to that man or you either for that case.
I'm taller than him, but he's more brolic than me for sure.
Last time someone was at our event the other night, someone's like, take a picture next to Bobby and Ray. I'm like, hell no. But 1-8 Capital, look, this is my second chance at life. Okay. It's crazy to think that less than a year ago, just came out of a 12-hour open heart surgery, had something called an aortic dissection, where the main artery in my heart that delivers blood to the rest of my body split really out of nowhere. 12-hour open heart surgery, 40% of people die on the spot, and it was, I got to be honest with you, it was hell. You know, being in a hospital bed 23 and a half hours a day, relearning how to walk, long recovery. But what really pulled me through was knowing that after I recovered, I had no choice but to be doing meaningful work that had an impact. And I can't think of a higher calling than what we're here to discuss today. And that's really not only, obviously the fund we're trying to make a lot of money for our investors, but we're literally saving and extending lives to the companies we invest in. And we put together a dream team, which we can get into a little later, but was blessed to meet Bobby through Ray Lewis, and we hit it off immediately. And I think he's aligned with everything we're trying to do with the fund, operates at an elite level, is committed to excellence, went to Stanford, so you know, I have so many friends in the entrepreneur and venture capital space from Stanford. They're just some of the brightest people that I know. So when we met, I was like, hell yeah, this is meant to be, and we're here today.
Well, you've always been a Renaissance man, a Renaissance athlete. We've done the shoot through the New York Post where we went to Chicago, you showed your Broadway talents. But Broadway is something completely different than a fund, than something like 1-8 Capital. So how does your involvement come? And then Damar Hamlin and Ray Lewis are on the board. I mean, you brought some athletes in as well. Like from the athletic side of it, why did it make sense?
Yeah, you know, amazing to connect with Alex through Teresa Reed, my marketing agent, and the work that she's doing with the Andre Reed Foundation. Met Ray Lewis through that connection, and you know, getting connected to Alex and, you know, understanding the mission work that he's eventually doing. Obviously, it's an investment fund, venture capital fund that's raising a lot of money, but it's helping revolutionize, you know, the healthcare system, kind of giving people access to, you know, to take care of their health, really, and, you know, just give themselves better opportunities than some of the, you know, pain medicine they're being put on, or some of the treatments that, you know, aren't necessarily giving them the relief that they need. So as an athlete, you know, I have a unique position because I'm trying to chase high performance. I'm trying to get a 10th off my 40 time. I'm trying to add 10 more pounds on the bench press. So I'm trying all these different techniques, all these different recovery modalities to increase my performance. But, you know, when you think about the general population, you know, your everyday person, how can you live a more holistic lifestyle? How can you live a healthier life and eventually add years to your life? So taking my perspective as an athlete, trying the different recovery modalities to the different supplements, and, you know, bringing that into really the investment space and talking with investors and entrepreneurs, and, you know, trying to finding that synergy within the space. It's pretty exciting.
So this is bigger than sports. You can't just shut up and tackle, because you're trying to help everybody out there, not just the athletes. And you kind of just shared your story. We saw Damar Hamlin's story fold right in front of us on national television. So what's that conversation been like between the two of you in terms of how you two have kind of come together and created and continue to push the vision for 1-8?
You know, it's crazy. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, so huge Bills Mafia fan. And I remember it like yesterday, watching that game, and it was one of the most emotional scenes that I've ever seen, not only in sports, but outside of it. And I'm like, you know, this was way before, obviously, my event happened. I was still at a major bank at the time, but I'm like, I just fell in love with Damar's story then. Fast forward to post my operation, obviously having a new appreciation for the healthcare system, going through a traumatic heart injury. Folks have said, have you connected with Damar when they heard about what we're doing, the healthcare space, bringing in top athletes? So we got put in touch through Damar's agent, Jordan Rooney, just a great dude. And what Jordan had said, and this is where we'll talk about this another time, about faith, I reached out and Jordan said, oh my God, Damar literally just came to me last week and said, I want to get involved in venture. At the moment that I reached out, so we connected, we just got together in New York 2 weeks ago, and just talking about how our shared perspective going through that, I'll let Damar talk about it another time, but there's a lot of, I think, getting back to normal routines that you go through, obviously him at a higher level. And real quick, he's just part of our team with Bobby, brought Damar on because kind of 3 buckets, healthcare fund, so we have healthcare experts, 1. We don't want to push marketing things that actually aren't making people healthier. So healthcare experts, man, dream team. We have the co-inventor of the COVID vaccine, Time Hero of the Year, top professor at one of the top medical schools in the world. We have a top cardiologist, chief of neurosurgery at a major hospital here. Second bucket, health and wellness influencers and athletes. Bobby, Ray, Damar Hamlin, one of the top fitness instructors in the world, huge following. And what they do is if it passes part 1, then they'll help amplify it. The influence that these athletes have is crazy. And it, leads to increased brand awareness, product adoption, and they post or tweet something, instantly reaches 5-10 million folks because you have the trust, you're in it every day. Bucket 3, we have the entrepreneurs and senior executives. I'll repeat that. We have the entrepreneurs and senior executives. We have, for example, Ariel Safira, mental health founder, raised $53 million from top investors, just sold their company actually.
Wow.
We have the former CEO of Kylie Jenner's beauty company. He's now the president of Skin Health and Beauty at a $15 billion company. The company, through their subsidiaries, touches 1.2 billion consumers daily. They own brands like Aveeno, Neutrogena, Clean and Clear. And again, with that team right there, there's nothing that we can't do for our entrepreneurs, right? Add credibility. Through the athletes, amplify it. Through the executives and entrepreneurs, help them as they go from hopefully 0 to 1. And it's just the dream team.
So close this out here. What am I missing? What didn't I ask you guys that you want the audience to make sure that they hear?
Well, on that point, really quick, I think our whole thesis on preventive and personalized healthcare can be universally applicable. One of the big trends driving the investment thesis is by 2030, all baby boomers are going to be 65 and older. Wow. So that longevity trend is driving new products and solutions. By 2050, we're expecting close to 436 million global population is going to be 80 or over. So anyways, we just invested in a company that I think could help with the longevity to the average day person, and then to physical freaks like Bobby. Man, I see this dude throw up a landmine on an Instagram story. I'm like, if that was me, I'd go flying. But we just invested in this company, Nucleus Genomics. Genetic testing swabs your cheeks, can identify what you're potentially susceptible to over 800 diseases. Wow. It sequences 1,000 times more DNA than 23andMe, combines the power of 70,000 genetic tests into one. So imagine Bobby takes that test, 18 years old, maybe even younger, sees what he may be more likely to develop, can implement lifestyle changes, potentially medications, in rare circumstances, surgeries, that could extend his playing life. And then second, just real quick, Solace Health, medical concierge, they have hospitality infused centers, ER-trained doctors, no wait time. So if you have a minor issue, instead of going to the ER, maybe having prolonged time waiting for diagnosis, go in here, pay a membership fee, get looked at with no wait time. I don't know if you've been to the ER, it's a terrible experience. Yes, yeah. So just little things like that I think could be applicable to the general population and honestly help players and extend their careers.
Man, well, fellas, appreciate you guys coming in today, man. You continue to amaze me, man. Your life's playbook is bigger than just filling the A gap, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Alex, man, continue to do the work that you're doing, man. I'm glad. I'm glad that you went through what you went through, but I'm glad you're here to talk about it and to help others. Someone just watched this and they not only learned something, but you just inspired them as well. So appreciate you guys blessing the studio.
Can I make one more point?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, as you look at the healthcare space, treatment's looking different. People aren't necessarily going to the doctor. They're calling and making telehealth appointments, and people are now even using AI, going on ChatGPT and typing in their symptoms and getting a prescribed treatment protocol. So, kind of with the evolution in that space, looking at technology-based companies that can, really provide relief and better health to general population. I think it's mission work at the end of the day.
Always evolving. Appreciate you,
yes,
fellas.
sir.
Man.
Thank you.